Most new Pokemon investors fear reprints. They see prices dropping, they feel panic, and feel the need to sell their position to preserve their capital. But what if I told you that reprints are actually the best opportunity you'll ever get to buy Pokemon products at a discount from the secondary market and from places like retail? So today I will be breaking down the truth about product reprints and how smart money takes advantage of these opportunities. What is going on, guys? Poketism here, back with another Pokemon investing video. If you like the content, consider dropping a like, maybe even a comment saying SpaghettiOs, and a subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And for our based and beta comment of the day, our base comment is going to go to Joseph, who says, pro tip, avoid credit card debt by simply deleting the app. A very base comment, Joseph. I appreciate that. And for our beta comment of the day, we have Derek, who says, because it's only up, market at all-time highs. No. The entire Pokemon market can't all be up at the same time. There's different moving parts. Sure, overall, we're at all-time highs, but there are still price trends up and down that you can keep an eye on in the short term. Thank you for your comment, Derek. And now let's jump into the content for today. So section 1 here, we're going to talk about how reprints can feel bad sometimes, but why you shouldn't be afraid of them. So let's be real for a moment. If you are new to investing in Pokemon, reprints may not feel so good. You buy a product and then Pokemon Company announces a restock, then a bunch of new supply begins to enter the market, right? Prices then dip, your position goes red, and you feel like you made a mistake. No. Here's the truth. Reprints do not destroy the value of the product, they just reset the entry point. I want you to change your mindset. With this in mind, you can stop fearing reprints and start anticipating and waiting for them. We need to think of reprints as a great thing for investing. For section 2 here, what do reprints do to the secondary market? What happens? So when Pokemon Company or a big box store pushes a reprint, they create something extremely valuable. They create temporary discounts on strong products. Not bad products, not random junk, but strong sets with high demand. And this happens due to many factors. Supply on the market spikes, sellers compete and undercut each other, and prices compress. Just because the price is dropping does not mean the demand is disappearing. It just goes quiet for a little bit. And this is your time to not be complacent and where the opportunity lives in the secondary market after these reprints. So for section 3 here, we're going to talk about the best window to buy. So here is the part most people miss, right? People are more psychologically inclined to buy when prices have a strong upward trajectory. The best time to buy these products is not while they are close to all-time highs. For the investors and collectors, the psychology behind reprints causes interest in those products to drop temporarily. You see prices correcting hard, and you may feel inclined to sell your already owned products. It can seem like interest in these products are fading. Content creators can generate fear, and people ignore a golden opportunity. Shortly after these reprints drop, prices begin to stabilize at a new price floor where you see the product selling at consistent prices. When prices stabilize at these new levels, this is a great window to dollar cost average into your position. At this point, the downside risk is minimized versus buying on an upward trend, right? In addition, supply is getting absorbed at a healthier rate, and you're not competing with people buying into hype waves where prices keep increasing and such. These opportunities are where smart money starts to accumulate. So let's use Prismatic Evolution's ETBs for an example. there was a massive hype wave for these ETBs, which caused these prices here on the chart here to go all the way up to $220 for an ETB. So rather than FOMOing and buying a product this high, especially while Prismatic is still in print cycle, you could have waited for a restock to find a safer entry at a lower cost. You can now get these ETBs at GameStop for around $150. They're listing on eBay and TCG Player anywhere from $150 to $160, which is an excellent opportunity to expand on a current position or dollar cost average in at quite the discount. $220 dropping down to $160 is quite the drop. And you can see here that on the chart, there is a massive increase in buy volume. There's also a massive increase in sell volume. So that's a lot of the new supply entering the market and a lot of people eating it up because they think that these prices are fair. So why do most people ignore reprints in the first place? So most new Pokemon investors and collectors never take advantage of reprints. This is strictly due to the way our brains are wired. Emotions can interrupt our logical thinking. Some people may panic sell when prices drop. Others may think the products will go even lower and pass on the opportunity. Both of these can lead to bad exit and or entry strategies. The real edge in Pokemon investing space is patience. Markets do settle, new price floors are found, and hype for these products may or may not die down. From my perspective, though, these are the times when dollar cost averaging makes the most logical sense. So, how can we use reprints to our advantage as Pokemon investors and collectors? Let's identify together a simple strategy to take advantage of these reprints drops to position yourself well in this wild, crazy market. Let me start by saying I'm not a financial advisor. I just like talking about Pokemon economics, and I find this to be fun. So take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I'm not a professional, I just enjoy this. So let's jump into it. The first point would be to do your research and identify strong products. So don't just buy anything that gets reprinted. You want to focus on sets that have already proven to be highly in demand, have a high set value or desirable chase cards, and long-term appeal. So some examples of these sets would be Prismatic Evolutions, Ascended Heroes, Destined Rivals, and Black Bolt White Flare. All of these have decent set values and are highly demanded, so therefore when the massive reprint waves come in, these would be my personal picks on what I would be getting more of. The second point would be to wait for price compression after a restock drop. So you got to let the reprint wave do its thing, watch prices come down, and then flatten out as we find a new price floor. So as we're going up, we get that correction, and then we start to flatten out. And as we're flattening out, you're going to find a new price floor, and those are the signals that you want to be looking for. The third point would be to accumulate slowly. You don't need to be perfect. Dollar cost averaging in over time, this is how you build strong positions without overextending yourself, buying too early or buying too late. Set an accumulation strategy, and you won't have to worry about crazy price fluctuations. I tend to wait until reprint cycles happen, and because I don't like the downside risk of something that continuously goes up. So if I know that the price is going to go down when they drop a restock, then I'll consider dollar cost averaging at that point. I'm not in a rush to buy everything at the same time. And the fourth and final point would be to hold on to your product for the recovery phase. So once the restock dries up, prices don't explode overnight, but they do tend to trend upwards. So this is how you generate value in Pokemon Sealed. And then once that crazy price spike happens for that product that you got in at a good discount, then you get to be the exit liquidity for the following people in the market. The truth about reprints is that they are not the enemy. They are one of the few times in Pokemon investing where the market gives you a second chance to get in at better prices, build better positions, and invest with less risk. Ignore your emotions and practice patience for more success. While others may be panicking, smart money is positioning themselves for long-term returns. So I hope that you found what I talked about today helpful. If you want to get a better understanding of the Pokemon market and actually find undervalued products out there, make sure you're subscribed to stay informed on market updates and Pokemon investing tips. Don't be one of the people still chasing hype when the real money is made during opportunities like these. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Hayo, mayo, mo.